Hello everybody, how you doing? For you guys that don't know me, my name is JJ. Today's date is May 3rd, 2020. We got this quarantine going on right now. And with this time available, I thought about making a movie, or I'm doing it right now as we speak. I wanted to make an inspirational video of me, my life, all of the fucking obstacles that I've had to overcome. And basically just my life story, because I know I've lived a hell of a fucking life, man. The cards that were dealt to me were not the best hands, but in life you don't have a choice. You just gotta fucking, go with the flow and deal with whatever cards you got dealt in life. The day I was born, my umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. It came out black and blue. My mom said I died twice the day I was born. So ever since I was born, this motherfucking devil's been trying to take me out. The devil's been trying to kill me, been trying to take over my soul. And that's honestly what I feel. Okay, so from there, when I was 8 years old, let me back it up a few steps. From the age of 4 years old, I wrestled, I played basketball, I played baseball. I was an all-star athlete in everything that I did. When I was playing baseball, I was a pitcher, I was a shortstop, I was always on offense and defense. When I was in football, I was quarterback, I was lineman. Like I said, I was never taken out of the fucking field. I was on offense and defense playing the whole game. I was an all-star material, So I wrestled, I wrestled too, started wrestling at the age of 4 years old. I mentioned baseball, I mentioned football, I did basketball, I boxed. I did every single sport out there, known to man, known to child. And I was a natural at everything I did. I was all-star material. Every single sport that I applied myself in, I always made it to the all-stars. I was always a fucking champion player. And that all took a turn, when I was at 8 years old. I was complaining of pain in my knee, in my right knee. I remember it messing with my abilities to play sports. I remember it just like giving out on me walking and me just falling. Just stuff like that, pain, inflammation. So when I was going to Queen of the Valley or wherever the fuck I was going, I was 8 years old, I'm 28 now. This is 20 years later. So like I said, I went to the hospital. They said it was just growing pains. My parents thought it was growing pains. Kept on going, kept on complaining about pain, and they ended up finding a tumor in my knee. It was the size of a golf ball. It was a bone cancer called osteosarcoma. So the name of my book is called The Day My Life Changed. I don't know that exact date. I know it's in the year 2000. I believe June 2000 was when I was diagnosed with cancer. And they didn't tell me, my parents didn't tell me. The way I found out was they had recorded it. My mom was talking on the phone to somebody, and she didn't know I was behind her, and she had told them that my son JJ has cancer. And I had overheard that conversation on the phone, and I said, what? I have cancer. And somebody would happen to have been recording with the VHS, with the old school VHS player at the time. And the cameras were on me. I have all the footage, all the pictures. You guys will be seeing all of that. So yeah, they laid it down to me right there. They basically told me I have the same thing. My grandma was going through cancer at the same time. She had colon cancer, she had cancer in the stomach, colon cancer everywhere. So the day my life changed was June 2000. I remember I had to be scheduled into like an emergency visit, where they removed all of my wisdom teeth. I was 8 years old. My wisdom teeth hadn't even grown in yet. And they had to fucking protrude. They had to fucking pull out all of my wisdom teeth because the mouth is most prone to infection. So they had to prevent any of that during I was going through chemotherapy. if my teeth would have shifted and I would have got some kind of infection, it would have went to my lungs, fucking killed me. So yeah, day my life changed. I found out I had cancer the very next day. They put me under anesthesia. The laughing gas pulled all 4 of my teeth, and then they did a surgery in my chest that went straight to my arteries. It's called a catheter. Can't really see it. It's right there. It was a catheter. I had 2 tubes, a red tube and a blue tube coming out of my chest. And basically those were connected directly to my arteries. So any of my chemotherapy, medications, anything that they gave me, it would just be right there. That way they wouldn't have to fucking stab me with any needles. Because as you can see, I don't like needles, you know. But yeah, so I had that surgery done. And I remember my first chemotherapy treatment, they gave me this a very low dosage of chemotherapy that didn't do shit to me. Didn't make me sick, and I was like, all right, this is chemo, this is gonna be a breeze. But little did I know, a month later, my tumor was the size of a golf ball. I believe like a couple months later, it had fucking turned into the size of a softball. So it had basically doubled or tripled in size. It's a very aggressive cancer. And so that chemotherapy that they gave me wasn't doing shit. So they basically had to up my dosage. And they gave me some shit that was like as dark as Coca-Cola. And then that's when shit got real. I remember fucking, damn, throwing up 4, 5, 6, 10 times a day. You know, being confused, not knowing why this is happening to me as a child. You know, I lived in a hospital for a damn year straight, and like I said, you know, the nausea, throwing up, constipation, taking shits like you're fucking shitting glass. Your blood feels like it's on fire. Everything you eat tastes like pennies. And like I said, don't forget I'm 8 years old. You know, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I just know I'm going to the doctors. I got a sickness. I know. The only thing that I know is that cancer has killed every single person in my family. Every single person. I don't know anybody that survived cancer in my family. So, yeah, like I said, the chemotherapy was fucking hell. And my catheter in my chest ended up getting infected. So they had to remove that. And when they removed that, I remember that being the most painful surgery that I've ever had. And I've had countless major surgeries. So the one in my chest got infected. And I remember waking up when they removed that. I was fucking crying, screaming, throwing up. Got over that. And then they gave me this new thing. It was called a port. This little bubble right here in my chest. That's connected directly to my arteries also. But they had to stab me once a month. It was probably like the size of a nail. They had to stab me once a month, and then that was it. You know, and there would be the tubes hanging out. So that was the replacement instead of having the port since I got infected. So after all the chemotherapy, you know, fucking just sitting there, lying there, asking my parents if I'm gonna die, what the fuck's going on. You know, I had no hair, lost all my hair. You know, I didn't have no facial hair at the time, but I know I lost all my hair and my eyebrows. I got pictures of all of that. You know, I just remember this being a very confusing time in my life. Just remember asking my parents specifically if I'm gonna die, and you know, when your parents tell you you don't know, it's a very scary feeling. So they had to make a decision because the tumor was expanding too aggressively. So they had to make a decision. I had a decision to get an above the knee amputation, a rod in my leg, and every time I grew, they would have had to extend my muscles, my ligaments, my nerves, my muscles. So I would have been in the hospital. I'm 6'2" now. So I would have fucking been in there, I don't know how many surgeries, or 3, which was called the Van Ness rotation-plasty. And I'm gonna explain that to you guys a little bit. Basically, the cancer was in my right knee, right here in my knee. Excuse the whiteness. I had it right here in my knee. So basically, what they did was they removed my knee, and the bottom part of my leg was still good. So what they did is they turned my foot around at 180 degrees, flipped it around. So basically what I got going on right here is I ended up going with the Van Ness rotationplasty. I was probably the 10th person in the world to have this surgery done. And what it is like I was explaining to you guys earlier, is what they did is my foot and my foot and everything was still good. So what they did is they removed the cancer, and then they reattached my foot backwards at 100, and then they reversed it at 180 degree angles. They reversed and they attached it backwards, so I have motion. So basically, this is my heel right here, and my foot goes down, and my leg was reattached right there. Dr. Reynolds is a fucking miracle worker. Never forget him. Dr. Reynolds, he was the one that did the procedure on my leg. And the whole purpose of this procedure is so I'm not an above the knee amputee. So I have motion. I'm in my car right now. I can't really move, but I have full motion. I can do this with my leg. I can do everything. I'm able to do sports, live life like a normal person, around you fucking two-legged freaks. But anyways, so I ended up going with the surgery, and it was great. Everything was good. My grandma was given about 3 months to live, and she was still fighting on, still kept on fighting until I had my surgery. The day I had my surgery, a week later, the day I had my surgery and I was pronounced cancer-free, my grandma, she was able to finally lay to rest, peacefully. She was alive. The doctors didn't know how she was alive, and we all know that she was just there. She wanted to make sure that I was okay. And once I was okay, she was able to leave peacefully. So yeah, we lost my grandma, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. I had cancer, and then after I had cancer, my parents, they got into drugs. We had a big 3-bedroom pad, pool, 3 cars, boat, everything, and I still don't know the story behind what really happened. You know what, I take that back. I have asked my parents. I asked my mom. I asked her, did you guys start doing drugs because I got sick? And she said she didn't. She told me she didn't. She just was experimenting, and she fucking got hooked, And both of my parents ended up getting hooked on methamphetamine. We lost a house, lost the cars. Parents went through a very dirty divorce. My auntie Claudia took custody of me and my sister Valerie until everything got straightened out in court. And I just remember seeing fucking shit being bad, man. My parents went through a really nasty divorce, Fucking practically cars. I won't get into details, but it was a nasty divorce, and me and my sisters were left in the middle of it. So yeah, my parents went through the divorce. We lost the house, and I was born and raised in the streets of El Monte, and I've lived everywhere in this fucking neighborhood, the south side, the north side. Fucking where I'm at right now. I've lived on Mountain View, Cogswell, Richwood, Ramona. You name it, I've lived there. I've moved from about 10 different apartments in Almani. Never grew up, never had stability. And like I said, I never had stability, and I never worked because I felt sorry for myself. I thought other people were going to take care of me. I thought the knight in shining armor, one of my family members, was going to be like, oh, look at this fool's been through cancer, he's lost his leg. It's just he's fucking basically out here, I'm just out here, thinking somebody's going to save me, but ain't nobody going to fucking save you. That's one thing that I've learned about sobriety, You can't help anybody that doesn't want to help themselves. A lot of my family members wanted to help me, but ultimately the decision's up to me. There's nothing anybody could have said or given me. Could have given me $1 million motherfucking dollars, and I would have spent it all on cocaine, alcohol, fucking, I've experimented with everything. I've smoked heroin, I've smoked crack. I've never touched meth, because my parents, that was their drug, and I told myself I'd never fucking do it. Never have. I've probably been laced with it, probably had it cut in with some cocaine, with some fucking ecstasy. But other than that, I've never intentionally did methamphetamine. I've smoked heroin, smoked crack, done ecstasy, done shrooms. You fucking name it, I've fucking done it all. Yeah, you know, you learn, you have to, these experiences that you go through in life, you just have to learn for yourself. And that's one thing that I've learned with other people also. I see people struggling with the same addiction problems, you know. I became an alcoholic since I was 13 years old. When I went back to the 5th grade, I was fucking bullied like a motherfucker, and it fucking psychologically traumatized me. Am I saying that right? Traumatized me for the rest of my life. Psychologically traumatized me for the rest of my life. So I went back to the 5th grade. I was wearing shorts. I was comfortable as fuck with everything. And I started getting bullied. Kids started calling me peg leg, crippled, handicapped, fucking one leg, fucking just anything, you know, anything that they could do just to get underneath my skin. And get this, you know, I just fucking was in a hospital for a year fighting for my fucking life, happy that I'm alive, wearing shorts, still unsure, uneasy about what's going on. And I go back into the 5th and the 6th grade and I'm bullied every single fucking day. I remember coming home crying every single motherfucking day. Kids would tell me shit and I would just freeze up. I wouldn't do nothing. I would just let them call me whatever the fuck they wanted to. And I would just go home crying. I would just be a little bitch and not do nothing about it. So my dad finally said enough is enough. So as I was going from elementary to junior high, in between the summer, my dad got me a weight set, got me my boxing gloves, and told me if anybody makes fun of your leg, or anybody talks shit, disrespects you, you fucking fuck them up, punch them right in the mouth, and whatever consequences, I'll take care of them. I'll take care of the parents, I'll take care of the principal, whatever. Just don't ever let anybody disrespect you. So I remember when I went back to the 7th grade, fucking D'Amico, you piece of shit. You the homie though now. But you used to fucking, I can name all the bullies. I can name every single fucking bully one by one. And you guys are very lucky that I'm not in the same mentality that I was, because I had a fucking list made out. Like I said, you know, I'm a changed person, but I don't forget anything. But D'Amico, remember you motherfucker, you the homie now, you know. He was like, we were in the 7th grade, this fool was like 6 foot tall, I didn't have my height yet. This fool walks up behind me, slaps me in the back of the head, tell this fool to meet me in the restroom, beat the dog shit out of him. And ever since then, all of the bullies I thought they can bully me in the 5th and 6th grade, when they went to the 7th grade, I was a whole nother motherfucker. You know, I couldn't be fucked with, couldn't be touched. And I was fighting every single motherfucking day, beating the fuck out of bullies. And when I was fighting bullies every day, man. Bullies. And it literally traumatized me. I wore pants for 16 years of my life. I never talked about my leg, never talked about cancer. These pictures that I have right here, I have not looked at them. Sorry, I think I said 16 years, but it's been 20 years. But my parents, they had these pictures of me when I was sick. And every time they would get pulled out, I would fucking get mad at my parents. You know, just try and put them the fuck, you know, I don't ever want to see them. I think I threw them away a couple of times. But my dad put them away for me and just waited for me for the right time, you know. And here's just one of the many pictures. My mom right there. And my sister Valerie. You know, just right there, just chilling in the hospital, you know. I haven't looked at these pictures in 20 years. I haven't worn pants. I haven't worn shorts in 16 years. So just so you guys have a better understanding of how fucked up I was in my head, the reason why I drank so much and I did drugs was because I was ashamed of myself. I was insecure. I just wasn't comfortable in my own skin, so I got drunk. It made me not feel anything. It made me not feel anxiety. It made me not feel this fear. It made me not feel self-conscious. It gave me confidence, blah, 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 whatever. But I became an alcoholic since I was 13. When I realized what it did, how it made you feel, I fell in love with it. So I drank every single motherfucking day. And when I mean every single motherfucking day, I drink every single motherfucking day. Minimum $10 at the store. Get my 5 shots of hot stuff and my 4 16 ounces. Boom. Fucking finish those in an hour later. And like I said, I never worked. I felt sorry for myself. I didn't think I was able to work. I didn't think I was capable of working. I thought I was handicapped. I thought I was crippled. I didn't believe in myself. So I made money the way I made money, you know. You guys, I've told you guys earlier in the story, I've never had stability. When I was trying to better my life, trying to go to when I went to UEI college, I got my certificate of completion. When sometimes when I would ask my parents to take me, there would be no gas, there would be no shit like that. So I'm riding my bike to school in 100-degree fucking summer weather with a prosthetic leg, you know. And I graduated. It was not easy. I was still drinking at the time. I was, you know, doing a lot of shit, but I completed it. I think I was just telling you guys a little bit of those details just to give you guys, like, I had to do everything by myself. I was never able to depend on anybody in my life. You know, nobody. So, fuck, where the fuck was I at? So, about school. So yeah, back to the drugs and alcohol. You know, I became an addict when I was 13 years old. It traveled with me. Drugs came involved later on. Jack Daniels and cocaine was my fucking poison right there. Give me some fucking Jacks, any type of whiskey, some fucking cocaine. It's on and brack and cut. But you know, fuck all that bullshit. All that shit is just a fake reality, you know. And I believe where I was getting at is that, you know, I wore shorts for 16 years of my life. I was completely fucked in my head. I didn't like people asking me about my leg. I didn't ask people asking me, what's wrong with my leg? Why are you limping? Like, I used to fucking punch motherfuckers in the mouth. They would be like, what's wrong with your leg? I'd be like, what's wrong with your motherfucking face? Trying to start problems because my heart was so full of hate. I would go out every single night and fight every single fucking night. Just go crack somebody, go out to a bar and go drink. Somebody looks at me wrong, go fucking crack them. Just, I don't know, all the homies, the homie Tweet, Panda, fucking Vicente, all my close homies, fucking my homie Neats, all my brothers that have been there for me, they know how I was, who I was, and who I've become now. You know, all these fights, getting jumped, fucking scars on my head, that bullshit. It was just because I was an unhappy person and I wanted to make everybody else miserable. So the fights, no stability, and then you know, I'm getting older. I'm fucking 24 years old. I got nothing. You know, I'm living at my grandma's house. My grandma gets diagnosed with cancer. My grandma Bertha, she was the one that took care of me every single morning. My parents would go to work and I was going through chemotherapy when I was not in the hospital. My mom or my dad used to give me a piggyback ride. My grandma used to live at the corner. They used to give me a piggyback ride, carry me to my grandma's house. My grandma used to make me French toast, eggs, anything that I fucking wanted. Loved me unconditionally while I was sick, you know. I love that woman so much, you know, she's done so much for me. And this was about 3 years ago, 2020, so this was in 2017. She was diagnosed with cancer. It was a stage 4 terminal cancer in her stomach. She only had a couple of months to live. And once I found out she was diagnosed with cancer, I got into fucking cocaine really bad. The worst I was at, I was drinking 2 bottles of Evan Williams and getting about an 8-ball of cocaine a day, not eating, not drinking water, every single fucking day, praying to the devil, hoping that he takes my life. You know, because I'm a piece of shit. I thought I was a piece of shit. A I was a burden to everybody. I didn't want to be alive. I prayed to take my life so my grandma can live because she was a good person, and she didn't deserve this. I felt like I deserved it. So whatever, me and God, we've always had a rocky relationship. Since I was 9 years old, I've ripped up Bibles, I burned them. I used to curse God. I used to pray to the devil. Honestly, I'm not even fucking lying. Because the stuff that I was doing out on the streets, the way I was making my money, and just the evil stuff that I was doing, pray to God for that shit, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I don't know. But God is good now, I pray to God every single motherfucking day. I thank God for my sobriety. I thank God that I'm sane. God is good. God's been there with me throughout my journey, throughout my whole life, and I thank God. I pray when I'm happy, I pray when I'm sad, I just always pray now. I'm not no perfect Christian, Catholic. I believe in God, I know there's a God, I know there's a higher power, and we'll just leave that as that. So when my grandma, she passed away, the day she passed away, the day we buried her, the next day we had her rosary, which is where they pray for 7 days, make sure that they make it into the gates of heaven. I believe so, excuse me if I'm wrong. So on the very first day, I remember I was coming home from my aunt's house. I probably drank a lot the night before, I did a lot of cocaine. I was doing that shit every night, every day. So I came from my aunt's house, went to my grandma's house, all my family was over there praying. I had my clothes in the dryer, and like you guys know, I have a prosthetic leg, and I have my prosthetic socks. I need them in order to walk. I had them put them in the dryer. I went back the next day, they weren't there. They weren't anywhere in the garage at my grandma's house. So I went to go ask Albert where my clothes are at, and he comes up with this whole, well, you're a grown man. Grandpa, he can't be washing your clothes, folding your clothes for you. And, he just basically gives me this whole runaround, this whole bullshit. He's a fucking, he is whatever he is. So we start a big old argument. My aunt comes in, my Auntie Claudia comes in, my Manuel comes in, and just asking, what the fuck's going on? This is my mom's rosary. Get the fuck out. Take your shit and get the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I'm over here, I'm just trying to get my shit so I can join the family and join with the rosary, or whether I'm gonna go shower and change and fucking get fucked up again. That was my decision. But they didn't want to give me my clothes, and I was kicked out because my clothes were being fucking harbored for me, they didn't want to give me my fucking clothes. Stupid shit. So I told them, they told me, yeah, they want me to leave, and I told them, you guys really want me to leave? I have nowhere to go, nobody's gonna take me in. They didn't give a fuck, they kicked me out on the street. So I told them, alright, you guys don't have to worry about me no more. And I have prior attempts of attempted suicide, suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts, attempted suicides. So this was probably about my 4th or 5th attempted suicide that was nearly successful. They didn't want me there, they kicked me out, so I was like, alright, then I'll be gone, nobody's gonna have to worry about me, nobody. So, yeah, I had popped like 200 painkillers, muscle relaxers, Tramadols to be exact. I remember popping them as I was brushing my teeth, shaving, getting dressed. I dressed up, nicely. I was like, fuck, dressing up for my funeral. And I clearly remember just fucking like passing out and waking up in like a panic. The pills had already kicked in. It had been an hour. And I tried getting up. I remember I tried standing up, and my body was completely like fucking limp like a noodle. My whole fucking mouth was busted. It looked like I had just gotten jumped, because I didn't want to die anymore. I was so close to death. I didn't want to die anymore. I woke up, I was fucking burning, dude. I was burning in hell. And I didn't want that no more. I wanted to live, but it was too fucking late. I gotten up 4 or 5 times, busted open my lips, busted open my face, and my body collapsed. I collapsed reaching for the door handle, you know, trying to fucking reach up for it and open up the door, tell somebody to fucking call 911. But I collapsed with my arm up in the air, and I already knew I was gonna, you know, fucking do what the fuck I was gonna do. I didn't want to live anymore. I was done living, you know. I was so depressed, anxiety every day, depressed. My grandma had just died. You know, I had nothing to live for. So I already knew this was coming. And on my Facebook, I posted nothing but love, see you guys in the afterlife. And my cousin Andrea, she's seen that, and she was the one that actually saved my life. She saw that, and she knocked on my room, and she was the one that found me collapsed. And yeah, that was my last attempt at suicide. After that, I still continued to drink, continued to do drugs, and from there was when I told you I was at my worst, you know, and situation had happened with the El Monte Police Department. They came into my pad, handcuffed me, tased me twice, beat the dog shit out of me while I was fucking handcuffed like fucking cowards. About that incident though, about that day, July 30th, I had been tired, you know, tired of being tired. I had been wanting to stop drinking. But just that day, I was like, no, fuck it, man. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm right here, can't talk, can't look. You know, my girl had just left me. I was all alone. My family had abandoned me. I was all alone. I realized I didn't want to die anymore, because being that close to death just makes you realize. So yeah, ever since that day, July 30th was the day I just decided to say, fuck it. This shit's not working. I can't tell you what works, but I can tell you what doesn't work. And this fucking rerun routine that I've been doing every single fucking day doesn't work. So I decided to switch it up. I've been 3 years sober, been working for 2 years. I'm right here in my 2019 Challenger. Bought it with 29 motherfucking miles. I got one whip, another whip. You know, I got 3 cars, an RV. The next step is my house, man. I just keep on thriving. I'm very motivated. And I will be, you know, I got all my stuff that I need, you know, my car. The next thing, my next goal, my lifetime goal is to become a property owner. Because as I've told you guys, I've never had stability growing up. So I'm tired of that shit. It's time to change that fucking process. And I'm gonna buy a house. Cash. You guys will see. Give me a little bit of time. I'll get it. It'll be mine. It's mine already. I'm speaking it into existence. This house is mine already. It's just a matter of time and when. And basically, I'm making this video just to tell you guys that there is hope. Don't kill yourself. Don't do drugs. Don't drink. Don't break the law. Don't do none of that shit. Because that shit will just fucking bring you so much fucking problems. You know, just everything, man. I'm thankful for everything that I have. For everybody that I have. You know, I'm in the best physical shape of my life. I've been hitting these motherfucking weights every single day. You know, just bettering myself mentally, physically, reading, making money, just doing everything. So I'm making this video because I was going through a midlife crisis, and I watched somebody else's inspirational video, and that inspired me and inspired me and made me realize how beautiful life is. You know, fuck everybody, fuck what everybody thinks. Let them talk, let them speak. Ain't nobody gonna feed you when you're hungry. Ain't nobody gonna pay your bills. Ain't nobody gonna make sure you're warm at night. Ain't nobody gonna make sure you have a roof over your head. Nobody's gonna make sure you're okay at night. Nobody's gives a shit about you in life. If you want to be homeless on the streets doing drugs, you can. And that's what I love about life. The beauty in life is you can do whatever the fuck you want. You want to live on the streets, drinking, doing drugs, letting fucking life go by you while everybody's making money, being happy, being successful. That will never change. Life is a mindset, and one of my phrases that I like to say is day one or one day, the choice is yours. You know, today I can make the choice of picking up a fucking beer and throwing my entire life away. But I made the decision I will not fucking ever do that shit a day in my life. That's not gonna happen. I will not let that fucking happen. I've been through too much shit in life. I'm in control of my motherfucking life. I'm in control of my fucking happiness. And anybody that tries to get involved with any of that, you know, they can get a kick in the ass out my life. 'Cause I'm all about positivity. Fuck negativity. Fuck bad energy. Fuck bad people. Now, excuse my cursing. That's just in my nature. But, I mean nothing but well from it. But you know, everything you do in life, you gotta do for yourself. Never forget that, because ain't nobody gonna come and save you. You gotta save yourself, how? And yeah, I really hope that this video will help anybody, whether they're going through something similar to me or going through a fucking totally different issue. It doesn't matter. Once you've experienced pain, once you've gone through all the shit that you've gone through in life, and you've made the decision that you want to be happy, the world is yours. You can accomplish anything in life. You know, just stop being a bitch and do what the fuck you gotta do. And I love you guys. This is my first rough drafts. And yeah, peace out, y'all. Love y'all. Nothing but love, peace and love. I really hope that this will help somebody one day. As long as I can help one person with this video, my mission has been accomplished. So nothing but love, you guys.